Yo, there we are. Okay, people are in. Do we have good sound? Checking on the audio, as always, at the top of the gig. Yo, what's up? Hope everybody's doing well. Noodling around here, trying to get warm. Trying to get the warmth in the hands, get loosened up. A little bit of a sneak peek there. Some moments that were from the new record. Can't wait to get it out. That little motif. That's actually really deceptively hard to walk all the way up the arpeggio alternate picking it. See what I mean? It's really hard. Reversing my camera angles? What do you mean? I think the FM3, when I updated it, those were hanging out on Patreon last night. We were doing some updates, some firmware updates, and one of the things that I did is I had it set. I talked to Matt Pacone this morning, who is always super helpful. He was telling me that in the update, probably what happened was it got sent to a -10, which sounds about right. It needs to be set on +4 on the outputs that are not the XLR outputs. Yeah. So. Yeah, this guitar is really easy to play. It's my favorite. It sounds nice. Sounds cool. I like those, right? Yeah, the pick clarity's nice. This does not have Thornbuckers. This is the new signature set of pickups. And this neck profile is this is just entirely just my signature model in pretty much every spec. The neck profile. It's supposed to be a modern profile, but they actually copied the prototype. So whatever that prototype is. Don't wear Guns N' Roses shirts. Oh no! Look at that. I don't care. I'm GNR forever. Right? I am. Let's see. Messing it up. Trying to do too many things at the same time. Try it again. Maybe here. Whatever. Goofing off. Love Slash growing up. Yeah, me too, man. My favorite ones were like the, I love that. Forget the lid. Something like that, right? I feel like that little bend's in there, right? Right. Right, something like that. I don't remember it. Slash was he rules, man. He freaking rules. Nightwalker saying what pedals are on your pedal rack. This little thing? That's just like that new video that I did. See it there. Whoop. Yeah. I'm not playing through it right now. I'm playing through my medium-sized board that's down here. That board right there. So, yeah. Actually, I'm playing through that white SL68. It's behind me. Yeah. Sounds good. I like it. So, yeah, in the title, I'm talking about, I said EJ and the Woodshed guitar experience and the SL68 tones. So you've been hearing the SL68 amplifier. This week, I got back from California. February has gone by in a hurry. And I've been talking to the team at Woodshed, which is exciting because we're getting fired up for August. And in August is going to be like the best freaking thing. I mean, you can imagine, like, if you're a guitar fan, if you're a music fan and you like guitar playing and you like all the guys that we talk about all the time, it's going to be an insane event. It's 4 days right outside of Nashville, about an hour outside of Nashville. And it's some of the sickest players on the planet, right? You got Eric Johnson. Like, I can't believe I can say that. I grew up worshiping Eric and really loving his music. And I mean, he was my hero, one of many I think it's very evident that I listen to a lot of Steve Morris and a lot of Brent Mason, Helicasters and Dixie Dregs and that kind of stuff. But Eric was a huge hero of mine. Like, I remember seeing the band leader coat. I remember the G3 with Vi and Satch, and it was just so impactful. I remember thinking how what was it, the fine art of electric guitar or whatever the that we all had. He was such a hero, and I'm so excited that he's going to be there talking about guitar and playing and hanging out for several days just on the weekend. And I'm so excited for you guys that are coming. Like, it's amazing. I really, if you're interested in making it, I think we're running, Chuck, can you tell me if the early bird special is still available? Can I still say that? Is our early bird code still rolling? Chuck is our moderator in the chat. Thanks to Chuck today, as always. And I think there's an early bird code that's still running. I think it runs till March. And yeah, you guys are going to get to hang out with Eric. It's super limited. There's only 100 slots, and we've sold a ton. So if you're interested in coming, please get your slot now. Get it this week. I mean, I don't think we have a lot left. I don't really, I don't ever like to get into too deep into the numbers in the business. I just know that when I was talking to the team earlier, they were like, yo, it's really selling like hot. So please, if you're interested in coming, love to have you. It's at woodshedguitarexperience.com. And, guys like Mark Lettieri are going to be there. Grammy nominated Mark Lettieri. Like, it's wild. Like, Mark's a good friend, and he's one of the sickest players in the game. And what he's done with the baritone is really inventive and fresh. And he's just got a fresh thing that just sounds like him. And obviously it's a great, honor to have him back. And we've got Greg Koch returning. We've got Seth Rosenblum that's going to be there. And Andy Timmons. Man, you talk about a guy that's had a huge impact on my life over the past 5 years or so. I mean, I met Andy years ago. We did a clinic at the RMA, and I was just a Padawan learner. I was not yet a Jedi. And I was teaching alongside Andy, which I'm sure you guys can imagine, and put yourself in like a 20-something year old kid's position. You're trying to like teach alongside Andy Timmons. I felt like, had no business being there, but I was on the gig and we hit it off. But over the past 5 years or so, Andy's become a very good friend, and he doesn't realize how much of an impact his energy and his approach and his love of music, it's infectious. I mean, like, when he's playing the guitar, it's just really contagious. Like, every note just has got all this love in it. He's been a huge influence and a good friend, and I'm so excited that he's coming back this year. The jams are so fun. With watching guys like him and Greg, they just have so much energy on stage, and it's so infectious and it's so good. Love it so much. So please, Woodshed Guitar Experience. Yeah, that's right. So if you want $200 off, I just was waiting on Chuck to give me that green light. There's a $200 off code for early birds, and that runs through the end of March, and that's at Woodshed Guitar Experience. If you're on the fence, come. Get your place now. The last thing you'd want is to be like it be June and it's sold out or whatever, So please get signed up. It's amazing event. I'm honored to put it on and host it. It's really something special. It's a beautiful lakefront property that's private, and there's nothing else going on. It's just a weekend of cabins and good food and lakefront and lessons with the masters and great concerts. We have a great house band. It's really something magical, and I look forward to it, man, just so much. It's really fantastic. We've got you folks talking about Europe. We got something special coming in October, and that's all I'm going to say. We got something special coming in October for England, and that's all I'm going to say. Amp Man 50 is in the house, and he's got a question. He says, hey, Andy, have you ever played a 1968 Marshall Plexi at full tilt? Either the super lead or the super bass. How does it compare to this SL68? I've played the Super Bass. I think it was a 69 that I played. However, the SL68's outstanding. I think it goes toe-to-toe with any of those vintage amps. I just recently purchased, and I haven't taken delivery yet, but a friend of mine has sold me a fantastic 1969 100-watt Super Lead, and I can't wait to compare them. But yeah, man, the SL68's killer. It's just outstanding. Paul Warren's in the house. I was just talking about the clinic that Andy Timmons and I did. It was actually at Paul Warren, his school, the Raleigh Music Academy. Really, really great memory, great times. Paul's saying he went to a Christopher Parkening classical concert in the late 80s. A duet partner told him after the show, dude, you got to check out this guy named Eric Johnson. Players everywhere loved him. Yeah, no question. Roddy's in the house. Raul's saying too expensive. I would say this: if you took outside of the flights, this is the thing that we look at with the pricing is like, if you went to 3 concerts and you bought hotels for all 3 nights and you bought your food, and then you took a one-on-one lesson with all of these guys throughout the day, I mean, you would be way over the budget of what we're selling this thing for. So actually, let me tune up. I got a little bit of rope going on here. Dave Durango's in the house. He says, do you have any good tips and exercises for hammer-ons from nowhere for advanced players? Yeah, let's talk about that. Hammer-ons from nowhere. I'm going to describe what that is. The old hammer-on from nowhere. So what you're looking at in that hammer-on from nowhere scenario is you're trying to this thing, and like nothing is backing it up. One more time. I'm sloppy today. That middle finger's a little sloppy. There you go. Nice. A little sloppy, but that's okay. So basically, the hammer-on from nowhere is just coming in with no anything leading up to it, and really it's easy to kind of overplay this stuff where you're using too much force, but you don't need that much force. I'm not playing a note yet with my right hand. Just mute it out. I'm just playing random arpeggios. I'm not really thinking about anything specific. 9 or 9. I use this type of stuff when I'm doing more tapping type bits, right? Sorry. As you can tell, I'm not using any kind of scrunchie, so my muting has to be spot on. Those kind of licks is where I use it. One more time. So let's come up with a lick. Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah. Right, something like that. Stack it up if you wanted to. And it's really about don't overplay it, right? Sorry. I mean, you could just do scales and just work on your hammer on from nowhere like that. It's like, yeah, the first finger was a little lazy. I don't really, try to overthink that kind of stuff. I just want to be agile and it just be another access to another aspect, right, of my playing. I mean, my default playing is to pick everything, right? Albert, I don't really do selective picking. That's like I would just play all those kind of things. I would probably try to just play them all. But he's like those kind of ideas. I've never studied it. I don't know. I mean, I would just pick it all. My selective picking would be to select picking and pick all of it. Something like that. Sorry. Something like that. I would just kind of play the lines more like that kind of thing. I don't know anything about that technique. I'm just doing it my redneck way. I don't really know. I mean, it's really just like, Tosin spent his life kind of developing that thing, and for me to try to assimilate it in a matter of 5 minutes, it's kind of stupid. it's just like, I don't know. But that's kind of my thing is I'm just used to picking everything, and it's the easier way for my hand to work, Phil Button says, have you ever measured your top picking speed? No. I do know there's some things that Ben's said were fast that he was like, that's really fast. I don't really care about that stuff, but what were we tracking recently? I wish Ben was in here. He would tell you. What were we tracking? It was something where the metronome was at 165. Because I remember the riff to the song, it's on the new record, is a... it's at 165, and I do 6 tuplets at it. So, like that kind of thing, right? That's pretty fast. I don't know. Triplets at 200. I don't know. It's none of that equals music to me. What's the highest note you've ever played? It's like that kind of thing. It's like, who cares? What's the lowest string you have on your guitar? It's like, you could still have all the strings and all the speed and make really terrible music. There's plenty of guys on Instagram with tons of chops making really terrible music. It's like, at least that's what I think. You don't have to listen to me. I mean, I just at the end of the day, you can give me. And I'm happy. The thing that I got to have is sass. I've got to have sass and attitude. Like, I care more about that than someone's technique. It's just like, you have all the technique in the world, and like the moment Billy Gibbons comes in with, it's like, well, he's cooler than you. It's like super evident, you know. Same way with Vi, with all the, you know, all of that kind of stuff is just way too cool. So cool. Like, who cares about the notes and all that stuff, all that foolishness? Licks are for kids. You know, it's like flashy, but like the stuff that I really like that's chopsy are guys like Eric Johnson and guys like Steve Morse, where it's like the chops happen and you don't realize it, you know? It's more about that I think is cool. Specs on the Tele is buying some woodbuckers and building a Tele Godo bridge. Yeah, it's a Godo 510. The tuners are Sir tuners. I don't really know much about them. I know they got a high gear ratio. So they're really nice and accurate. What was that riff? Oh, sorry. Yeah. Have you ever heard of Becker guitars? No, I haven't. Do I play Les Pauls? Yeah, I do. I like Les Pauls. They're cool. Thank you guys for the kind words, man. I'm just kind of noodling around today. It's been so dadgum busy, guys. Like, holy cow. You know, February, it just went by like in a whirlwind. I'm freaking exhausted all the time. I did the trip to Hawaii to play with Gary. And then I did the trip to California to do the NASCAR thing. Was really sick. We did a couple of nights at the Grand Ole Opry. It's been just wild this month, and the whole time trying to work on my new record. That's been a project too. You know. Dave Durango says, play some music that would go in a movie scene of two people watching beautiful UFO hovering over a cornfield in Iowa. I don't know what that would be. I don't know what that would sound like. Maybe that kind of thing. Maybe it'd be like that. Maybe it'd be like real honky sounding though. I mean, if you got two people watching a beautiful UFO, it's like it's obviously a love sound. But it's obviously a UFO, so something weird's going on. They kind of like. Need flange? Boomer says flange. I mean, it's like. the tone of the SL68 with the timeline in front of it. Here's just the reverb in front of it. Here's nothing. I'm sure you want to hear nothing. Here's nothing. This is just SL68. Just cool, big, cleanish. Oh, sorry. The flange is on. No flange. Here we go. That's the SL68. So if I hit it hard with the humbucker, it breaks a little. But really, the goodness comes from we're hitting it with a pedal. This is a Pantheon. Here's some delay for you delay lovers. Gearbox. Yeah. So that's the, yeah, I actually just run it really kind of clean and not really in the way of anything. SL68 is just kind of dialed in clean, Dustin. There's a tube screamer on it. So the owner has chimed in. This is actually Chris Justice's amp. Chris just joined us. And I'm not really doing anything crazy with the SL68. It's not wound up super loud. It's just kind of big and cleanish. Yeah, Chris, there's the Sheba. It's just a tube screamer. It's for the Sir people in the room, it's the Sir Sheba. But for everybody else in the world, it's just a good tube screamer. Great. Really good for that thing. Carson, I wish I was playing Lightfall. I hadn't even had a chance to load it up yet. There's the 3 split coil sounds. That's like the the gearbox thing going on again, which I love. It's real velvety. Sorry. I wouldn't use that verb if I was shredding a lot. That kind of, I'd dry it out. Oh, sorry. Playing a whole lot of nothing. Playing a whole lot of nothing. But that's okay. I just have that delay on a wet dry mix so I can control it. Sounds good. I want to play some Lightfall. Seriously. Like today. That has got to go down. I've been trying to get caught up on students and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, man, I definitely want to play that. Do we have any Destiny players in the house? Anybody? I think Carson plays, right? Yeah, it sounds good, Chris. Thanks for letting me borrow it. The new record's really made some really amazing stuff happen for the record. So that tone right there is really great. should have sold that better. Yeah, it's just all the gearbox. This is all just gearbox, you know. Sorry, bad. That's what I was missing. It's really more about the just trying to control the muting, Dustin. It's not really about like anything like about the tone or whatever. It's you should be able to do it like with a clean tone too, right? You want to, right? Let's see. Get that delay off there. There we go. You want them all clean no matter how clean the amp is. That first finger's a little lazy today. There we go. There we go. It's really about just like being really precise with everything you're sending into the amp with the lowest amount of signal possible. This is like a split sound too, you know. You could do it with those kind of things too, right? All right. Sorry, I messed the middle one up. That's kind of how it's supposed to be. I suck today. But it's really, it teaches you to be really in control because there, you know, I'm not using, I mean, if I were just to even just use a string mute of some kind, like this, like even just this right here. Now it's like full cheater mode, right? Everything's gonna be way cleaner. See. It's like there's no loose sounds at all, right? I don't have to worry about any of the muting. It's like full on cheating. That's why all those guys use those scrunchies and stuff. Because you don't have to try. You just, it's like, it's a million times easier. But I like having my open strings available. So it's like, you know, so you give and take on what you want, you know. Yeah, no one's perfect all the time. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I suck today. The guys at 83 says, sounds like an amp. Are you running it direct or into an amp? I'm using my pedal board into the front of a SL68. It's really good. Yeah. I hope that was helpful, Dustin. You know, it's like talking about that kind of thing. Welcome AMS to the party. Hopefully AMS will be at the Woodshed Guitar Experience and bring a ton of cool toys for everyone to play with, as we were talking about earlier. Thanks for the kind words on the NASCAR thing. It was really cool. It came out really good. check out my social medias like Instagram, Facebook, and all that stuff for what he's talking about. I'm going to do a video for YouTube this week on the NASCAR and how that came to be. So, yeah. Mr. Timothy Bush, he says, are even 50%. Yeah. I don't know what this is in reference to. Yeah. Second take on a whammy bar. How do you maintain that on a really high gain sound? It's the same principle, Dustin. Like the same principle under a ton of gain. Just go slow, right? And as I get off of a string, you'll hear me like mute it out. See, like this is doing the muting. Oh, sorry. It's easier to do when I do it all together. Right? You see what I'm saying? It's like you kind of got to get it rolling. It's like the same principle. That's what we were talking about at the beginning of the webcast, the stream. It's the same hammering on from nowhere. It's a bit tricky when you don't have any kind of muting going on with the open strings. So you have to be a bit sneaky with it, especially with like bigger, wider sound, those kind of things, or major sevens like we were playing earlier. You gotta be on and off of those low strings, like getting on and off of those. I hope that help is some kind of helpful. Regular strings, SPAD, W-SPAD is asking about the strings I use. I just use Diodario 9 to 46 when I use a standard Fender headstock. The tension to me feels normal as Gibson's with 10 to 46. If you think of it like the Gibson headstock is split, so the break angle is different. So to me, a 9 to 46 seems to feel the most normal as a 10 to 46 on Gibson. Yeah. Yeah. One more time, Chuck is talking about the $200 off. Yeah. So if you're watching this and you want to come to the Woodshed experience and spend 4 days with Eric Johnson, myself, Greg Koch, Mark Letary, Andy Timmons, Seth Rosenblum, ton of sick players, then we get $200 off up until the 31st at woodshedguitarexperience.com. So come hang out at that. It's going to be insane. Learn all this stuff in person, right? Learn both licks and all three keys. Gaza is saying, I only have one finger down at that time. Sounds straightforward. Takes time to practice and coordinate your hands. Yeah, and you got to come off of the strings too. That's the thing. Robert Green's asking about the balance tension strings. Yeah, those are weird to me. Something's weird. This feels right. Like 9 to 46 on a Fender feels right for me right now. Yeah. So, yeah, that's what we got going on. I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their day. Obviously, Chuck has linked up the Patreon as well. If you're interested in this kind of content, like the more lesson-y kind of stuff, that's the Patreon's the best spot for that. I post over there a lot. It's all lesson type stuff. It's not really as much of a, it is a social hang. It really is. But it's also a lot of like, here's how I do this. This is what kind of pedal for this. This is how I do this technique. This is like all of that stuff is patreon.com/AndyWoodMusic. That also is the way that like I am able to make live streams and things happen. So if you enjoy the Instagram posts, or the YouTube posts and all the stuff that's free. I've got my lowest tier is just $5 a month, and that's basically a Starbucks. So for the low price of $1 Starbucks a month, you can keep the Instagram lights on and keep the YouTube lights on, right? That's the way it is. Dustin, there's all kinds of levels. Yes, the lessons are beginner friendly. Randy Heston is in the chat. He's what I would consider a beginner musician. He's started out from coming to the Woodshed experience and joined up over there, and he can give you a great, great review of it. But I have a lot of beginners over there, and it helps with like building those foundations as a beginner, and not just here's where you put your fingers. Like that's really kind of like not a great way to start playing guitar. It's really more about like, why does this chord going to this chord sound different than this chord going to this chord, and what makes the resolutions work? It's a lot of that kind of stuff. Kelly Bryan, thank you. Kelly is a Patreon member, and I think he'll validate the kind of things we do over there. We have a weekly live masterclass that we do, and it's really, really great. And there's all kinds of content over there. So patreon.com/Andy Wood Music. I'm going to be teaching some lessons on that later today. So, yeah, man, thank you guys for hanging out. I've got a lot to get into today. I've got to get caught up on some Patreon lessons. I've got to adjust some things in an FM3. And, we got to get prepped for another recording session tomorrow. Hopefully get into the album and knock out another song tomorrow. I'm really looking to get this thing done. Randy, there's Randy. He says it's worth more than the price of admission. Thank you, Randy. It's a great hang, and we have a lot of great guys over there. We have a private Discord server and all kinds of things that are nice. So go over there and check it out. It's patreon.com/Andy Wood Music. The biggest thing though that I can offer today is giving you guys $200 off the Woodshed guitar experience. We're going to run that deal until March 31st. So if you're looking to hang out with Andy Timmons for 4 days and Eric Johnson for 4 days and Mark Lettieri and Greg Koch, go to Woodshed Guitar Experience and get $200 off with the early bird. Thank you guys for hanging out this week. All my Destiny players, enjoy that light fall. I'll be on at about 10:30 or 11 p.m. Eastern when my day is done. So cheers, everyone, and we will catch you real soon.